welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie if you are new around here, and I am a K-6 music teacher. So today I'm going to talk to you guys through what I did the first music lesson of this year. And so I pretty much just had a warm-up, I went through some rules, and then I had an ending activity. And so I'm going to take you through first warm-up. So K-3, their warm-up was a steady beat warm-up, walking around the room, copying what I do. For kindergarten, it was simply that we walked in as like a train. Like I said, follow me, and they followed me and into the room, and I said, follow the leader, and we made one big circle. And then I put on this music called Don't Jealous Me. It is from Beyonce's version, her like Lion King version CD, if that makes any sense. So she came up with a new album, and it's all based off of the Lion King, has a lot of featuring different artists and her, obviously. And so I used that, and it's really good. It's got a really awesome beat to it. The kids seem to really like it. And so I just do very simple tapping the steady beat and having them copy me. And so that's for them. For first grade, second grade, and third grade, I just had them come in, find their own space because they know the movement rules. And I actually have 4 movement rules. Rule number 1 is no bumping, and I always go no bumping. Keep your hands to yourself. Rule number 2 is no falling on the ground. Keep yourself safe. Rule number 3 is no following because you're going to be your own person. And rule number 4 is no talking because you are listening. So I go through those, I teach those to the kindergartners, and then first grade, second grade, third grade, I did a quick review, and I literally say those like every single time we do movement. They say them with me, and we go through all of them with little gestures to remind them, because that's always a challenge of music, is moving to the music, but moving safely and making sure we can actually keep it music centered. So I do that with them. They get into the scattered portion and then formation, and then I just again do the simple. But with first grade, second grade, and third grade, I do about half the song doing some kind of tapping motion with a steady beat. We might walk around the room. It's going to be more movement based, so I might have them be in a stationary spot. They would copy me, and then I would say walk to the beat, and they would walk around the room and then freeze, do it again. I also do this thing with second and third. First grade, I'm not quite ready with them, but I do something called binoculars, and I do binoculars, and if I say pick any movement that you can do to the steady beat, you're gonna do it, and they have to come up with their own movement, and then I say, if I like yours, I'm gonna copy yours, and then everyone else has to copy it. So I might be like, oh, Zach, I like yours. This is what you're doing. Obviously, it'd be more creative. They would come up with some really cool things, and then everyone try it out. And then binoculars. Ooh, I like what you're doing. Let's do that. Okay, and then we all do it. So that is pretty much my warm-up for K-3. So 4th and 5th this year, I do teach K-6, but actually my 6th graders are with the traveling music teacher this year. So I'm just a K-5 this year, actually. So 4th and 5th, I have to do poison patterns. So this is very well known from so many music teachers. So many have done different variations of this with solfa and rhythm. And so I do a poison pattern. I pick a pattern that is kind of familiar from last year, some kind of review pattern. I think mine was like ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta. And so I would tell them, like, this is like, again, we come in and make a circle. I say, this is the poison pattern, everyone. I'm gonna try and trick you. Do not clap this pattern. And we'll practice a few times, ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta. And then I will say to them, like, okay, this is the last time I'm actually gonna say the syllables. Later on, you just have to listen for it. Ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta. Okay, here we go. And so I'll clap all kinds of different rhythm patterns. That's not the poison pattern, so they could clap it back. They're gonna echo me back and forth. But if they hear ta, ti, ti, ticka, ticka, ta, they have to be silent. I tell them they cannot say it, they cannot go to clap it. If their hands touch, they are poisoned and they are out. And if they want to be dramatic and have a little dramatic flair and be like, oh, they can go ahead and do that as long as they're going to the ground safely. And so if they clap it by accident or even touch hands, then they are out. I also have a rule later on, because it's a little more difficult to make sure that they clap at the right times. Sometimes if I do one really similar, the kids will think it's the poison pattern and they will clap, and I'll say they're out because it wasn't the poison pattern. They should have clapped. So that is poison pattern. I usually go down to a few students, but I don't go quite down to a winner because it just takes a little too long. I also add in 2 poison patterns. If they start to get really good at it, I'll add in another one just to kind of throw them off and keep challenging them. This is my rules and procedure PowerPoint that I use for every single grade. I went through some of this, or about half of this, with every single grade level that first day, except for kindergarten. Kindergarten, I literally am just like, here's the first rule, raise your hand to speak. Here's the second rule right now, play instruments when Miss Johnson asks you to. Those are like the only 2 rules we go over. The rest we will kind of go through as we go. They can't take too much. So those are the only 2 rules. But for everyone else, I say, welcome to music, so happy to see ya. I tell them about my summer. I think that's so important. I think they enjoy it so much that they just like know a little extra about me. And, you know, they all know that I'm getting married, that I play ukulele. I talked about, I went to a Harry Potter escape room, and I connected with so many kids who loved Harry Potter, and then it was so cute. First grade did not know what an escape room was, or some of them, and so they all were like, oh my goodness, like, do you have to stay in that room if you don't get out? Like, they lock you in there? Like, it was so cute how they were like, no, it's like, it's a game, like, they'll let you out. And then I talked about like my sister, and went to my cousin's wedding together, so they really liked that. I always start with that. Then I go through my 4 rules. I, again, follow game plan's rules, so really simple, and they seems to cover everything. And then I'll go through procedures, and I won't go through all of them, but I will go through some of them. So, like, I'll go through the ones that we naturally go through, like entering the classroom, and I'll say, like, you know, whether we did what the procedure is or not. Talk about how to sit at their circle spot. Later on, I'll talk about making a circle, movement, instrument time, and then finally lining up. So most of these I naturally just go through as, you know, we do class. So a quick reminder. Talk about quiet signs. So I ring a bell or do a countdown. So I ring a bell if I need them to stop, look, and listen, or I do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Do have a consequence if they are not quiet and stopping and looking and listening. By 0, then if I count back slowly, 1, 2, that's how many star points they lose. So star points are my whole class behavior. So I have a little star up on my dry erase board, and it actually is into 5 pieces. So you can take away a point. And if the class is breaking a rule, you know, as a class, then I simply just go over, I take 1 star point away, and I say, okay, here's what you're breaking. Could you please fix it? And later on in the day, if they start to slowly fix it, then I will put that star point back. If they end class if they end class with a full star, then I will clip over their clip on their piano board. So I have that stereotypical, music teachers have them a lot, the piano board. They have to get all 10 piano keys to the very end, and they get a game day. So they get to play music games for an entire class if they get to the end. So if they have their star, they get a clip over. If there's a star point missing at the end of the day or the end of the lesson, then they clip actually back however many star points they lost. So 1 or 2 is usually what I'm dealing with if it happens. And then I kind of talk about, you know, individual consequences. What if it's just one person that's breaking the rules? So I go through that. I do 1 to 3 reminders. I do a take a break area where they sit out and also have to fill out a paper. And then I talk about, like, first time I call home, second time call home, third time lunch detention. And then finally I talk about, like, good behavior and, like, what if they do if they're doing something extra awesome. And I talk about, like, how it has to be above and beyond. So I have 7 habit tags. I can do a positive phone call home, smiley stickers, and I actually just made Rockstar reward bucks. So I'm excited to use those. I have an awesome school where they support us, and so if I give that to them, then it like equals whatever their classroom reward is, because I can't really do like a treasure box for like 700 students. So it's really nice that they let me use that, and then it just transfers over to whatever their classroom reward is. So yeah, that is pretty much mine. I usually go through up till quiet sign, and then quiet sign the other half I do the second lesson, because it's just, I mean, it goes so quick. So I don't want to talk the whole entire time. Okay, so for the main activity for kindergarten, what I do for them is I have them do something called listen to the blank, go blank, blank, blank. Makes sense if you know game plan. So I love following game plan. It's a curriculum, K through 5, really great. It's very ORF based, it's very movement based, and I really enjoy it, and I pretty much follow it to a T for kindergarten. So they have a really good way, and if you know game plan, you know we're going down to the farm in the beginning of kindergarten music. And so they do a really nice job of making sure that every single lesson they come, we introduce a new instrument and they get to play it. So I like to let them play an instrument on the very first day, and they get very excited. So the first instrument that we play is Lumi Sticks, and so I have them play during the song, this little song, listen to the ducks go quack, quack, quack. And for, that it's a copyright material, I won't explain any much more, but they get to introduce that instrument and play it with the song that Lumi Sticks, and then we move on. I also have, I'm gonna grab them. I have them in a circle when we do this, and I actually even have a little arrows that I put in the circle to help them know how to pass the instrument, because that's always an issue. So I heard that from another teacher in my district, and I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, I don't have to physically come over and be like, you go this way, you go that way. I can just have these arrows, and for the most part, they get it. For first grade, our main game or main activity is Cinderella. So if you've ever heard of the rhyme, Cinderella, dressed in yellow, went upstairs to kiss her fella, made a mistake and kissed a snake. How many doctors did it take? So I play a little game with them. I don't know where I got this. I'm sure I got it from somewhere. And forgive me if I got it from you and I did not say your name, but it's really fun. I have a tubano, and so the kids learn the rhyme. They think it's silly. And then I have one kid come up and I say, okay, you can play the tubano however many times you would like. That's going to be how many doctors it took to fix poor Cinderella. And so I can say, you can take 1 all the way to 15. You get to choose. Everyone else, you have to figure out how many doctors it took. And so you need to count in your brain, because if you count out loud, you're going to share the answer and everyone's going to know. And so the kid comes up and they play maybe 7 times, and the kids are all like, and then they raise their hand. If they get it right, then they get to do it next. And so I'll go back and forth, maybe 5 or 6 people, and then we move on. So for second and third grade, I do the same activity. I found this on a blog. I'm going to insert it here because I cannot remember who it was. I can't forget. So I will put it here. So she did a little rhyme about summer vacay, and it was really simple. And I decided to take that and I just changed it just a little bit to work for my second and third graders. And so it's going to be like, it's like sand, water, rays of sun. What made your vacay fun? And so we dissect the rhythm, we talk about that, and then once I have them learn the rhyme, then I say, okay, think about like what made your vacay awesome. What did you have fun doing? Did you go somewhere? Did you do something? Did you watch a favorite show? And so we start kind of brainstorming, okay, share with your partner, right? And so we share, and then we come back and I go, okay, someone tell me what they did for their vacay. And someone shares and they're like, I went swimming. And they're like, it was really fun. I had these floaties and I was floating in the water. Like, awesome. Okay, so and then I put four heartbeats on the board behind me here, and I go, okay, so we need to fit that into 4 steady beats because we're gonna make our own musical sentence. And usually what I do is I will like make it like really silly, like way too long. I'll go, okay, so here's our 4 hearts. I'll say, I went swimming and it was really, really fun and I liked it a lot. And I'll be like, okay, that was like way too many heartbeats. We have to shorten it, right? Because it's not gonna fit in those 4. And they're like, okay, what can we do? I went swimming and it was fun. Oh my goodness, it fits in those 4 beats, right? Okay, let's try again. I went swimming and it was really fun. Okay, and so forgive me, it's Friday. That was a little even too much probably. I went swimming. That's probably better for first grade. But anyways, or second and third grade. But we shorten it and we talk about it. And so someone else tell me what they did over summer break, and we come up with another one. Oh yeah, and we shorten it to make it work in those 4 beats. And so what I do then is have a mass practice. I go, okay everyone, we're gonna come up with what you're gonna say, you're gonna mass practice it out. I'm gonna give you a minute to start coming up with your short sentence, and they have a minute. And then I say, okay everyone, we're gonna mass practice. And so we all say it at the same exact time, and I'm up here pointing to the steady beats. And I say, okay, if it's silent after the 4th beat, I know that we have figured it out, right? And so then we keep practicing. And then after that, we get into a circle. This is the second lesson. It's just the brainstorming is the first lesson. But I'll tell you what I did on the second lesson. What we did is we got into a circle, we patted the beat, we said, our vacay rhyme. Every 4 people got to share what they had done over summer break or their musical sentence. Say the rhyme again, the A section, sand, water, rays of sun. 4 people, 4 people, 4 people, until we got everybody. So that is summer vacay for 2nd and 3rd. My 4th and 5th graders, I created this little worksheet called Musically Me. And so it is a questionnaire for them. I just want to get to know them a little bit more on their likes and dislikes about music. It's kind of like a little survey, so I can put my best foot forward when we plan for this year. Because 4th and 5th, kind of 6th, it starts to get a little more tricky on planning and making sure that the kids are still staying engaged. And so in this, it just says things like, what's your favorite instrument? Do you like to sing? Yes or no? Your favorite band. I talked about like the yes or no, like to sing, like you're not dead to me if you say no, like you could circle no, it's okay, just so I know. Your favorite band or artist. I like in music when blank, so tell me, what do you like when we do in music? Have you been to a concert before? Yes or no? If yes, who did you see? And then what's your favorite song? So really fun to kind of see what they come up with this, and it just helps you get to know them a little bit better. Okay, so that's pretty much what I did for the first day of lessons. I hope that gives you a little bit of some ideas, whether you've had your first day or not, or maybe you can go back and do some of these activities because it's still kind of beginning of the year stuff. But I hope that you have a great first day, or you've had a great first week or a couple of weeks like me in school already, and just, remember, take care of yourself. It is such a I'm on my 3rd week of school, and it's on a Friday, as you can probably tell in this video, and I am tired. So take time for yourself and enjoy the kids, and I hope you have a great start to your year.